Welcome back to the In the Oven podcast with Adam and Brad.
What up, y'all?
It's been we're doing our makeup podcast time because we were gone on Tuesday to Atlanta, going to the co-packer facility, and then I think our last podcast was right before I left for Salt Lake City, so we got a lot to cover.
We do.
A lot's going on.
It's definitely been a week.
Yeah. I mean. Well, you can already tell, like, Aubrey's been sick. I've kind of got this congestion. I don't think you're feeling the greatest.
I'm all of a sudden not feeling so good.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's just that time of year or what, but
Show must go on.
We're going to push through.
That's right.
But Salt Lake City was a ton of fun. HydroJug always takes really good care of us. We, had dinner with them, and then we got to do the photo shoot, and they rented this, like, Lux Airbnb, which – it's someone's home. Like, they lived in it, and you could rent it for, like,
There's some
4-hour
nice
period.
houses out there.
No. So it was like they rented it for, like, 4 hours for the photo shoot.
Okay.
But it was so weird to me because, like, the people just had all their shit, like, in the house. Like, they lived there.
Yeah.
And it's almost like they were just gone for the middle of the day, and they're like, yeah, here, you can rent my house out for however much per hour. I don't know how much they paid. But, like, Aubrey was, like, changing in the master bedroom, and there's like their closets there with like all their clothes, like all their stuff. You know what I mean?
Wild.
Yeah.
Wild. I haven't heard of this, but makes sense. I mean, you got a baller ass home. I don't know.
We dash marted some Fat and Weird cookies.
Yep, I know that.
And so they're like, hey, warm them up. So I'm literally in their kitchen, like opening drawers, like
cool.
pulling plates out, and like microwaving stuff. I'm like, I hope.
So the
I can
terms
do
are just
this.
like use my house however you want for a few hours.
Well, they told me doing photo shoots and stuff
Yeah.
in there, but I'm sure they knew people had to change and
True
stuff
that.
like that. So
I mean, it makes sense.
yeah,
Weird, but it makes sense.
Interesting, but it was a gorgeous home, that we went to. But after the photo shoot, again, went out to dinner with them, and then the next day we went tubing with Letty.
Yeah.
So super fun. Pulled up to this little like ski resort, and rented the tubes. And the way it worked is they hooked you on a line and it drug you up.
Oh, right. So
So we were sitting there. Yeah, we were just sitting there backwards,
Yeah.
and we get drug up, and then we go, and then they had like these two, like, I don't know. It looks like you're doing like Cool Runnings, down these things, these man-made carvings,
Water,
essentially.
ice slide, whatever.
And first, to start the whole thing, they were like, "Ooh, I don't know if Letty's tall enough," and I was like, "Well, how tall does she have to be?" And they're like, 42 inches. Letty's not 42 inches. Like, she's maybe 40. With the snow boots on, especially a little bit over 40, maybe close to 41. The girl walks up, Letty like standing against the line, and the girl like literally does her hand like this and goes, "Okay, 42." And I was like, "Okay,
Like just a calibrated arm movement. There it is. I love that.
She's like, "Look, I'm touching the top of her head, and I'm touching above the line."
Okay, I got it. Yeah. Yep, it's good to go.
And so I was like, "Good," because like that would have really kind of ruined everything, And Letty is so mature, like
dude,
advanced.
she's tough. She can handle tubing.
So we go down, and it's each kid. Everyone has to have their own tube. So like she couldn't sit with us; she had to go down by herself.
Oh yeah,
so
big
like
girl.
Aubrey went, and then I stood there, and when they said go, I pushed her down.
Who was more nervous? You or
Probably Aubrey. I knew she'd be fine. But I kind of just like I didn't push her hard. I just kind of like let her get started.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because of that, apparently she started spinning like a top.
Yeah.
I mean, she was going down, and I'm like seeing like her, and I was like, oh, that's when I got nervous.
Do her toy dog roller coaster face. That'd be funny to get that on video.
But she was just like, you could just tell she was just like spinning around, and I was like, oh gosh, she's gonna like. I hope she stops spinning. The guy told me next time, hey, push her harder, and it'll keep her going straight. And so after that, but the first time she was just kind of like, I don't know about this, and we're like, well, let's go ride the other one, which they're identical, but. She went up, and then she rode that one, and then after that, she was like, I'm ready to go again, and she wanted to pull her own tube and do all that stuff, but she kept wanting us to make snowballs for her and hand it to her, and then she would throw it at us, but and then that night, we went to the Utah Jazz game.
Box seats.
Yeah, Tamarack or someone owned the booth, and the companies that they had invested in, one of them was called, like, Mixers, Go Mix, I don't know, some Mixers company. It's like women's support stuff. They have like women drink this thing when you're on your period to help your bloating and cramps and stuff like that. But they were the ones that like had it, and they are friends with HydroJug, have done a couple collabs with them and stuff. So they invited the HydroJug people out there. So that was a really cool experience. I've never done box seats.
Gotta get cookies in those boxes.
I had unlimited chicken nuggets, you know.
Ooh, nuggies and tendies, boys.
Yeah. It was unlimited popcorn too, because Letty just got the whole big whole
Gosh,
bucket.
man, popcorn hurts my stomach, but it's so good.
Yeah, Letty will eat her weight in popcorn.
So good.
Which I didn't know this, but you know that kids aren't supposed to eat popcorn until they're like 4 or something like that.
I didn't know.
Choke hazard.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So.
Glad my wife was on top of all those things that you need.
Well,
to
we
know
still let Letty eat it because I'm just like, chew it up, you know.
Oh, 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I mean, yeah, just chew it up. I guess if you do the whole like some people.
Yeah, I mean, like I do. I throw it
Yeah,
I throw it back, and then you're like, you know, sometimes when
Get it
the
out.
kernel goes down the wrong way.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so then after that, you know, we flew back on Saturday, and then me and you, Monday morning, got up at, I don't know, about 4 a.m. for me, and then you were here.
Yeah, we were at the airport, ready to rock. You know, basically as TSA.
We got to
was
tell everyone
opening
what
the
happened.
door. What? Oh, I left. All right, yeah. So yeah, man, early. I'm running to the store. I go by the gas station, grab an energy drink and a protein bar for the trip, and get up, drive all the way to Fat and Weird, pull in, gonna ride with Brad to the airport. And I'm like,
We go to pull out.
yeah, we go to pull out, and I just happen to do the
And
pocket check.
I'm like
I'm
driving.
so glad. And I'm like, I don't have my wallet. And I'm like, maybe it's in my bag. Let me check. It's not in my bag. I'm like, okay.
At this time, like I'm getting anxiety because I'm like, oh, we're gonna be late.
Yeah, like I don't have my ID, man. Dang, that's such a pain. But they changed that, right? Apple ID.
Yeah, you can now do
Apple Wallet.
You could do a Apple, Google ID. There's a bunch of just TSA approved. You take pictures of the front and back of your. I haven't done it yet, but I'm gonna do it just now. Take pictures like front and back of your driver's license, and then it like verifies it with the state, and then they give you like a digital ID. So, and they use it like TSA. You could use it.
Cool.
So
Makes it perfect, easy to travel. But anyway, so yeah, can't find my wallet. Luckily enough, I mean,
we drove back to the.
we drove back to the gas station and it was there. The girl was sweet. She was like, "Oh, hey." I mean, I had my business card on the outside of it. I guess it could have been anybody's business card, but I think I'm just gonna put if found, call me.
Yeah. But yeah, and so then we made it to the airport. We were fine on time. We literally, because we were just carrying on our bags, like we got through security and everything, and we were like walking up to our gate, and they were pretty much like starting to board. So it was non-eventful, but you know, my anxiety always is the best in my situations.
Easy flight though. We got up there. We were going to see our co-man and our co-manufacturer, and easy trip. We got up there day one. We see the boys, you know, from Riser. Brad and I are getting excited. You know, we know there's going to be some troubleshooting. There always is. And they hit us with, we don't have the parts to make your product.
Yeah. And the reason
Critical.
And the reason this is such a big deal is we literally met with them like 6 weeks prior, which their lead time on parts is 4 weeks. So obviously plenty of time. We met with them like 6 weeks prior and said, hey, whatever you do, make sure you bring these parts with you.
Yep.
All of the parts.
Yep.
And because of the cookie sizing, I said, go up and down to make sure
but
you
also
have everything.
the specific part, not just like bring it all like this. Make sure you bring these. Now, this is very complicated machinery, how we make our product. But, I mean, this has been weeks and weeks and weeks in the making.
November is when we actually.
Right. Machinery brought from Germany to be assembled in, Massachusetts. It should have been checked and checked and checked. I don't know where the ball was dropped, but this was a costly mistake for them. It was costly. I mean, they're going to have to make it right, or we're going to have to take it further. We don't have to talk about that part on here, but like it was costly for us. And Brad and I just had to go up there, but we also had to deal with the logistics of getting our bagging machine up there and our,
Yeah, we got a lot of equipment up there for this. Then our actual cost of flying up there, hotel and everything, our time for those days. And then on top of that, I mean, Riser shot themselves in the foot, though, because they had flown a guy in from Germany.
Yep.
They had how many people they have there? 6 people there? Yep. Mark, Nick, Joe, Carlos, Pascal, and Steve. Yeah, 6 people. Yep. It's 6 people there. And the whole time, essentially, we could run kind of one product. That's pretty much it. And it
So we basically had to run through a bunch of food waste, which Brad and I both hate, just from a food just waste perspective. Not even just loss of money. I just don't want to. I know you don't.
I don't like, yeah, I don't like
I don't want to be
those,
that wasteful.
I
you
literally,
know?
I finish meals at restaurants. Like when we're out, like I did not really need to eat that entire steak, but I'm like, I'm not going to bring it with me because you're saying.
Oh, I'm very critical of like,
so, like,
definitely animal protein.
Yeah.
I mean, I know our cookies are whatever, but it's still like,
Yeah.
if I order a steak, I have to like eat it because
Yeah.
an animal died for me.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, anyways, I mean, the guys are great. They're knowledgeable. They're whatever. But they can't. I mean, you just can't. This is complicated stuff. You can't pull this stuff out of thin air. There's no running a Home Depot. The solution is weeks from now, they might have been able to manufacture and ship this part to us.
Well, yeah. I mean, so essentially the first day, we knew they were not going to have all the parts, but they assured us that they would have some of the parts the next day. They were getting overnighted.
Right.
But
and it's like, okay, frustrated. Brad and I aren't trying to spend our lives up here. We're trying to come up here, do a factory acceptance test, say yay or nay on the product, and effectively boogie back home. So, okay, you want us to wait a day, for a part. All right. So the whole first day, we didn't need to wake up as early as we did. We didn't even need to be here.
Yeah.
So
the whole Monday was pretty much like a lost day.
Yeah, because if it wasn't coming till FedEx morning,
Yeah.
and by the time they got it installed, we would be
It would be
there
noon.
to see.
Yeah, but
we'd
same
be
thing.
there to see them popping cookies.
We could have taken an early flight on Tuesday, or
Yep.
we could have taken a way later flight on Monday and just
Sure.
come in the afternoon. But I don't know. I'm frustrated about the whole situation because it feels like someone just didn't do their job,
Yeah.
and that's
Oh, yeah.
why we didn't get that. And then it just wasted a lot of people's time. And then also the truth is, I know that we might as well talk about it now because they're coming.
Yep.
Cookie Dough Bites, which we're going to call Megabytes because the word Cookie Dough Bites is actually trademarked by that company that does them for like
Little movie theater
candy. Right? So ours is Megabytes. It's stuffed edible cookie dough.
Fire.
They're really great. We've already made the product on some machines before, and Riser said, "Hey, we can do this product." And now we're to the point where we already have POs in for these bites. Like 5 pallets for Unify, a distributor that we're working with for DoorDash. 5 pallets for them, and then Publix is going to need 10 pallets.
Yep.
I did the math.
Yep.
10
And
pallets.
that's just initial volume, right? So that's test market volume. Like they don't want to be stuck with product they don't know, right? Till they do, till that shit goes gangbusters, y'all. Check it out. But
Yeah.
for real, we need this machine up and running yesterday. We needed a couple weeks ago, really, when we pushed it back so that they could, get all of their stuff in order.
Yeah.
But, it is what it is. It's where we are. But Brad and I, we are not going to take shit laying down, man. So, yes, we've already gotten a hold of other equipment manufacturers. Yes, we are sourcing products. It's a global market, man. It's 2024. We will find some piece of equipment somewhere on this earth and bring it to us to do what we need to do.
Yeah.
Best cookies in the world, best equipment in the world, best people in the world.
Yeah.
That's it. And so, where our main frustration is that, okay, our current equipment provider, they may be the best or whatever. Let's just say they are. We're relying on not only that, we're relying on their customer service, their support team to make sure that best piece of equipment works, and it don't.
Right.
And so it's just a hunk of metal there right now, a shiny silver.
And on top of that,
Paperweight.
This machine is much more expensive than other machines we know that will work. It's very high tech. It is fancy. It has a very fast throughput compared to the other
we
machines,
fancy.
but it's not working that well.
Yeah, if it don't work, it
also
don't work.
the amount of waste coming off the belt that were like
Right.
falling
It
through.
was it was messy.
So
It was-
even nozzles aside, we lost a lot of product because it was just like dropping it off the belt.
and at scale, of course, we watch our margins here. We're tight. When you scale anything up, right? Like it just fractions of pennies become pennies,
Well,
become dimes, dimes become.
Speaking of
dollars.
fractions of pennies, you have a
Yeah.
friend that worked for Hot Wheels or something.
Oh
right?
yeah, Mattel. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know the full story on like what he did or didn't do specifically, but he was in the paints division of like Mattel, and so they were. Oh man, what did he say? Like 4 decimal points was like where they kind of started working their numbers, right? So can y'all imagine doing like spreadsheets working off, what is that? Thousandths of a cent?
Yeah.
It's like, but I mean, I guess if you're getting Hot Wheels cars painted or buying the paint for them,
Yeah.
you're
But something, didn't he save like
oh
some,
yeah,
like,
but well, because think about it, the volume that they were doing, he saved like say another decimal point over, like got a 8 to a 1, and that was millions of dollars. I mean, it was it's like, oh,
right.
wow.
Yeah, I know that sounds wild, but like at scale, like literally, you know, if you save 2 cents on your packaging material and you're doing 1 million packages every month or something like that, then you've saved what, $20,000. $20,000.
Yep.
That's so much money, right?
Yeah, scale that up. 100
per month,
100 million packages.
Right.
I mean,
right. And so that's why like when you're first starting a business, the fractional cost isn't as important because you don't have as much overhead. You kind of like this is what's going in and out.
Yeah, you don't have as much overhead, and like you don't have to value your time as much,
Right.
so you can just get in there and fix stuff.
Right.
But yeah, with what we're doing, man, we got to make sure our foundations are tight, and then every layer we build up, you know, we don't want to build up and fall back down, right? So every layer we build's got to be tight. Our relationships got to be tight. Our equipment, our people, our
Yeah, so
processes.
I think another disappointing part about this whole riser situation is just that like we were at the co-packing facility. Luckily, we're friends with the people, but like it just made us look bad, even though I don't think that they held anything to us.
No,
but it made us look bad. We brought them to,
I
like
agree
you
with
said,
you.
we brought a friend to the party, and they got wasted and
Threw
made a
up all
fool
over
of themselves.
right,
yeah, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's Brad Knapp's friend."
Yeah, right. That
You know?
yeah. They're like, and everybody at the party's gonna tell you it's not your fault, but you're like, yeah, but I brought him. Like,
yeah,
dude wouldn't have been here without me, so it's not my fault though.
right. So that's another part that we're just like about. But Blake, our friend Blake, who is co-founder of this facility, literally called us when we were on our way back. It was just like, hey, I reached out to that other manufacturer. We have a used piece of equipment on the way.
Yep.
He's like, I want to be able to start running this product for you guys because you have the demand for it.
Yep. And
so,
when you guys get there, man, you have to be able to play your cards as you can and understand that when a global company like this lets us down the way that they did, our response is having another piece of machinery from another global manufacturer sitting there when they come try to fix their machinery, so they know that they can either get it rolling or take it with them.
yeah. Yeah, and
Nothing says I'm gonna go somewhere else like being somewhere else.
Yeah, and I think the hardest part for me is like we have a really great sales rep. I really like Nick a lot, but you know, I can't let my relationship with Nick be the driving factor for the.
He's phenomenal, man. He's a cool
purchasing,
dude. Would and do hang out with him and love it. He's only as good as his support team, and I think he knows that. And as much as it, you know, bumming out, and we'd have a lot less to talk about probably, but you're only as good as your team, man.
Yeah, and they dropped the ball.
They did. Yeah,
So-
they did. I mean, I know Nick's not the guy packing the freaking crates.
Yeah,
And I'm sure he was the squeaky wheel that didn't get greased on, like, let's take care of these guys. Let's take care of these guys. I believe he is, you know, let down and stuff, but that don't pay the bills, man, and that don't fill POs.
Yeah.
So, like, unfortunately.
yeah. And then we were going to leave yesterday, and I was like, "Hey, Adam, the new American Express Lounge is open in the Atlanta airport. Like, let's get out of here a little bit earlier because I mean they couldn't run product really, so
Yeah, Brad
it was
and
a
I are
waste of our
bored. They're
time."
just basically sitting there wasting our cookies into, you know, and I'm just like, I
Yeah.
don't want to watch this anymore.
Right. And so, you know, we're like, we'll grab some lunch and then we'll get on the way. You know, we'll get on the road by, I think, as I was saying, like 1:30 because it's a 2-hour drive. So we'll be there by 3:30 and our flight's not till 6. So I was like, we'll have like at least 2 hours by the time we do
Yeah,
everything.
stretch out in the Centurion Lounge. Not a bad place to spend 2 hours.
Well, first off, we get to the Atlanta airport and finding the rental car return literally took 15, 20 minutes. It was,
hieroglyphics.
yeah.
It was like they didn't put like the arrow situation was like it's up for like these two, but then it's like that way for this one and that, like they would group them. So if you look at it quickly, the one at the bottom, it looks like it's saying go this way.
Right.
And it's really saying go this way. But
But we
dude, we had to do a
Yeah, I went all the way around. I think I
Had to.
went at one side of the airport to the other side. So it's like I feel like I went 350 degrees or something. Like I
right.
could have went this way, but instead I went all the way around. But anyways, we finally get the car dropped off. Adam and I like hustle up to the SkyTrain, and as we get up there, the doors are open, but it's packed. And it says like the train is departing soon or something like that, you know? And so we were like, oh, we'll just have to wait for the next one. But then we stood there and it did not move. And the guy, the security guard kind of guy working is just like, oh, this ain't normal, you know? And I
Yeah,
was
well,
like,
no, this is a full-on cop, but like an airport, but the station
Yeah.
at the airport or whatever. And so the thing's sitting and sitting and sitting. And if for some reason they had been running slow, but it said 3 minutes, I'm like, man, we've been sitting here longer than 3 minutes. So I'm like, all right, let me just check. And then 3 more minutes go by, and everybody's starting to get cranky. And they're like asking the cop as if he has a freaking clue, as if he's not just there to make sure, you know, shenanigans aren't going down.
yeah, he's like,
He's like,
they're like, is it broken? He's like, I don't know. That's not my job.
I was like, bro,
I'm just a
you're
cop.
the guy in uniform.
Yeah.
You're
Everyone's
the
gonna look
guy.
at you. Yeah. Yeah, it's so funny too. Like that, he became the guy. Like
Yep.
literally, let me answer that question to you. He doesn't know. You know,
Right. I was sitting there, and then I was like, we were thinking about it. I was like, man, you know, this is starting to give off some like Final Destination vibes. I'm like, I don't know how.
Well, I mean, when
These
I
things,
tell
I
you,
don't
it
know how
was-
these things are timed. Is this gonna like? Is one just gonna be like showing up?
Yeah.
You know.
Well, for me, I was just like, this thing is a sardine packed, and there was by the time that we decided to move on, there was literally like enough that we would have filled another cart immediately.
Yes.
And so Adam and I looked at each other and I said, I don't know how long this is going to be, and before everyone gets the idea that we're about to get, let's just get an Uber over there because
Good call.
it's like.
Yeah, well,
stupid. It's like
two,
5
man,
minutes away. But,
or here's the next thing. Oh, look, it's working, and then it gets stuck halfway,
oh yeah,
and you've already those are already pre-pissed people.
yeah,
They were pissed before they got on the fucking, or because they had to stand on there for so long.
right.
That would suck. So yeah, we rolled downstairs. There's actually just a dude sitting there with a Porsche. Pretty dope. He's like, you need a ride?
Well, we had called an Uber,
Yeah.
and then he was like, and then it said like no Uber pickup here, and I was like,
he was
so I
like, "You
canceled
need
the
one,
Uber, and he
Threw him a
listen,
20, said, hey, roll us to the other side. Whatever, it was worth it.
Would you notice I was like, how much you about to charge us?
Oh, yeah,
because I was
100%.
like, I ain't getting in a car driving over there, and then you'd be like $50. I'd been like,
No.
take me back.
No. Peace.
Yeah. But no, so yeah, $20, which was what the Uber was going to be.
Yep.
We, rolled out there. We actually made it to the Amex Lounge with about 30 minutes,
Yeah.
20, 30
Hey,
minutes.
if you guys are traveling, pro tip, if you're especially out of the country, but even in some areas where, there's Uber drivers everywhere, and there's folks where you may feel comfortable, like we did, we're like two grown dudes, whatever. Yeah, sure, run us to the other side of the airport at midday, but where they can get you with that whole price gouge, don't put your shit in the back of the vehicle. Because you can get out, they lock the doors. Give me my money or I'm not letting you have it. And then I guess you'd have to fight them or whatever, right? But like,
Right.
so just keep it with you. And then, if you're at a well-lit public area and they try to do anything crazy, just grab a cop.
Yeah.
Write it up. Take me to court, dog, if you think there's something.
Right.
Otherwise.
Yeah. I just heard, from our New York City
yeah.
experience, heard about people like getting in those pedicabs, and then all of a sudden the pedicab's like, that'll be $150. And people
Yup.
are like, wait, what? And it's like, because they charge like $10 a minute or some shit like that,
Minutes and miles.
And so that's why I just was like, how much you about to try to charge us? Because like, I'll figure out something else if
Yep.
you're going to be ridiculous.
So anyways, we got in there. We boogied over to the Centurion Lounge. Brad's second time. My first time at the,
What'd you
at the
think?
one in Atlanta. Baller.
Yeah.
Baller. Well, truthfully, man,
It's the
love
nicest lounge I've ever seen.
super nice. I love it because you can step outside. They have a full-on like terrace. Oh, I was like, I don't know, man. I was like, ooh, it's so nice. I mean, just one part about being in the airport to me, obviously I like to move around a lot, and that's fine because you can walk all around that you want to in an airport. It's just like if you're stuck there for a long time and it's a nice day out,
Oh, yeah.
I just like look at it like a puppy. Like I wish I could be getting some sun or sitting outside a little
Well,
bit.
it feels kind of stuffy.
It does,
you know.
always. It's like,
So.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I walked out there, I was like, oh, this is we didn't have that much time to chill in there, but, it was fine because we were coming home. We wanted to be home. It's not like I wanted to spend my time in the lounge, but
And we tried this fruit.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know what this fruit. It doesn't. There was no labels, but it was almost like a miniature kiwi. It was
That's what
like
it tasted like.
it
It looked like a weird, almost green tomato.
it looked like a mango or something.
Yeah,
it
or a
looked
green
like
mango.
Yeah, it looked like a mango. It was very tiny
Shape.
though, but it was like this.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it was small. Like I don't know how to. I mean, it was the size of like a
cherry
fig.
tomato or a small fig.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
So, and it was good.
It was, yeah, super
Yeah.
sweet, not too didn't finish too sweet though.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was a lot like a kiwi, but I was like, I've never seen this fruit. I always like to try fruits I've never seen before, you know? Like, I go, remember that rumbatone fruit or whatever we tried?
Yeah, that was weird. Though.
Yeah. I was like, it literally looks like a virus, you know? It's
Yeah,
like
the outside of
circular and it's like got all these like legs looking things on
Uh-huh.
there. But yeah, I'm always like, oh, I've never had that fruit before. That's how I found out, like, Letty loves mango. Like,
Oh,
she
yeah.
loves mango. I know, I love mango too. So, but yeah, I got some mangoes and like cut it up for Letty, and she was like, "This is her jam." She liked it. So I guess we can roll into some news.
Yeah, yeah. We Brad and I had a lot of traveling time, so we kind of were just reading clips and this and that and the other, and we kind of put together some ones that we thought were funny. So we got a little thing here.
Right, and we'll start with the bill that came out a month ago.
Yeah,
And
Tennessee.
in Tennessee, and it's an essentially a vax ban on vaccinations in food, vegetables specifically.
Yeah, the labeling. Some guy had to petition to get a bill passed, and I'm for the bill. It's to make sure that if there's vaccines in your vegetables or food, it is properly labeled.
Right, and they're saying although it's hypothetical right now, it's very possible. So
so vaccines could
interesting.
be edible.
So now you could go get your, when you pick up your spinach, it's like spinach
your
or
gummy-
spinach with this vaccine in it.
Oh, but I can see him being like spinach plus or something or some
Oh,
marketing
yeah.
gimmick. It's crazy that you have to pass a bill that you're gonna put craziness in food, man.
Well, the question is,
Don't put vaccine. Yeah.
it can't be in the organic section, right? I
Right?
mean,
Yeah, man. Probably not.
don't be putting them vaccine.
With genetically modifying things that they can do, it's an organic material, that I don't know enough. Obviously, I'm not a biologist.
So,
but-
you know how there's an organic section and then a regular section? Are they going to have a vaccine section?
yeah. Well, they're
This is
gonna.
Vax Superfoods.
Uh-huh. That's
Yeah.
wild. I don't know.
But yeah, so interesting, just how that all is playing out. Something that you brought up to me on, yesterday or day
Yeah.
before?
Yeah, that's when I saw it. I read it on PBD, Patrick Bet David, Valuetainment, whatever. I like his stuff. They a watchdog group, media research, something or other, dropped a report off that is pretty nuts.
Yeah, it essentially states that for the last 16 years, with 41 known instances since 2008, that Google has engaged in rampant election interference.
Don't take us off YouTube, Google, please.
Yeah, and
Just reporting the news.
and if you're curious about who that helped out,
Yeah, y'all want to guess
every
which
time,
side?
yeah, every time,
Every single time.
it benefited the Democratic Party.
It did, man. Yeah, and so go check out Valuetainment, whatever. It's great stuff. But to compress it into short, it's they were basically using the algorithm to, no matter the click rate, no matter where it was supposed to be in the line, it wasn't up near the top. It was pushed down.
Right.
The only way some people were seeing these were link throughs of on Twitter or whatever, where maybe didn't catch it. I don't know. But yeah, 41, they claim confirmed instances with proof and stuff for 16 years of algorithmic manipulation and then also autofill manipulation, to where you go type in your liberal candidate and it kind of autofills warm and fuzzy topics, and you go type in your conservative candidate and it's is a racist, is a meanie
Right.
pants Magoo.
Yeah.
And so you do that enough, man, and I can see it. And I also know that I think that's why people are so fed up with the news in general.
Right.
It's just and things like that, and just feeling manipulated all
So
the
it
time.
started in 2008. is that the first year Obama got elected?
Mm-hmm.
First year Obama got elected is when it started.
Yep.
And then his second year, obviously reelected.
Yep.
And then after that was Trump. And so 2008, 2012 was Obama. 12
Well,
to 16
I remember
Obama.
hearing about it during the first Trump-Hillary thing. Google getting put on blast.
Yeah.
But not really looking into it, and he won and didn't really, And
Well, but
nothing
then,
really
but,
went
and then people
anywhere.
were coming after him for election
Well,
interference.
right.
Like a Russian,
Right.
Russian
Right.
collusion. And
But then there was an exec lady on camera, hidden camera, that full on was like saying how Google can't let another Donald Trump situation happen or something like that.
okay.
Can't let it. And if they're not a publisher, man, if they're a platform, somebody needs to have that ass.
Right. Because for those that don't know, the reason that a lot of these places don't get in trouble for what's posted on their website is because they're
Not a publisher.
They're
They
not a
claim
publisher.
they're a platform.
they claim they're
So
a
like
platform.
Instagram, Facebook, all those things, they want to be like, we're just the soapbox in town square. If some crazy guy gets up there and says some stuff, we're not liable for it.
Right.
And like, there are reasonable things you want to put in place. You
Right.
know, there are reasonable things. The word reasonable though is a slope. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think it's one of those things I think we all can agree on. And it's like, well, on the words you said and how I feel about that, but I don't know that I'm going to agree with it in implementation.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
So because of that, they've been able to like not get in trouble when people have said things online, but now it feels more like they're controlling what you can and can't see, which everyone kind of already knows that, which that kind of gets more into like the publishing because they're curating your experience.
But then also, wouldn't that feel, because I know we're going to segue into it here in a minute, monopolization? I mean, aren't you like...
yeah, they're monopolizing the data that people can see.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So like, but even from if they can't see your website, then you can't collect revenue.
Right.
Easily,
Yeah.
So there's some down the chain stuff.
Yeah.
There's going to be some lawsuits.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
Mhm.
speaking of lawsuits, I know you were talking about this, but so the U.S. Justice Department just sued Apple.
I know, right now.
Like, I mean,
We're on it.
Yeah.
Reporting live.
When you guys see this podcast,
Well,
like,
yeah,
it'll
shit.
only happen like 4 days ago, though.
Yeah, reporting from 4 days ago in the future.
So, there's not a lot of detail on it right now, but, they allege that, Apple uses control over iOS and the iPhone operating system to block innovative new apps and cloud streaming services from the public. It degrades how Android messages appear on iPhones, restricts how competing smartwatches can work with iPhones, and hinders rivals' payment solutions. So essentially, they're saying it, which we actually talked about. It's like if I owned an operating system, like why do I have to let you on my operating system? I developed the operating system. you know?
and the hardware and the everything.
Yeah.
And the whatever. I don't know. It seems like when they went after Microsoft, right? Microsoft was the only real maker of software at scale, and they had a big contract with Intel and yada yada. They were kind of spreading out and being like,
Right.
nope, there's no more room over here, guys.
Right.
Making it hard to play. I think they ruled on that. I don't know what the ruling was, but it doesn't feel the same, man. That feels more like Intel's like, hey, it's our computer, man. It's our software. It's our computer. It's our stuff. You can't play over here.
Yeah.
But then again, it goes into like what I was just saying of like, you're kind of preventing downstream economies. And at some point, that's fine. But once you reach a certain size, you do risk the ability of like controlling.
Yeah, but don't you truly feel like everything is a monopoly, though? Like, think about...
I think that if you look as
Well,
a business owner, entrepreneur, I want all of the dollars. I want the whole space.
Yeah.
I don't want competition. You know what competition is good for? The customer, not me.
But what
So,
I'm trying
like,
to get at is how many major food companies are there? There's like 6, right?
Oh,
Unilever, like those kind
that's
of companies,
because
right?
they're all progressing.
Right.
Oh,
And then
yeah,
they're all owned by
conglomerated.
they're all owned by like BlackRock and
VC
Vanguard
share.
and like all that
Well,
stuff.
you start getting off into public shares or private selling. Equity set.
Well, yeah, these
equity
public
holdings.
public companies owning majority shares in these companies, and there's like BlackRock and Vanguard will like owns a majority of Amazon.
Yep.
And then they own they own
a majority of everything.
Yeah, they're controlling interest in all these things. So technically, when you look at it, it's like if Adam had a cookie company and I, had a cookie company, and then we were like, hey man, let's just start an entity and own our cookie companies together, but they'll be separate cookie companies, so it doesn't look like we monopolize this area.
Yeah, well, from Google's whole platform, they have Alphabet,
Right.
Holding type situation. So, yeah, BlackRock is a venture capital fund, the fund, right? The fund of funds. They're not a retail seller. They're not a whatever. So they don't really.
Yeah.
But yes, you're absolutely right. If you can pick up the phone and dictate the moves of a company, you run the company.
Well, yeah, and then you can block everyone
are the
else out.
company,
Like, so
yeah.
me and you then could like block everyone else out of the cookie business, or let's just go to cell phone carriers.
Yeah.
There's T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T, all that stuff. Well, technically, if they're all owned by the same people, you have the illusion of a choice of a carrier.
Yeah,
but that's
well,
it. They get together and control rates,
Uh-huh.
which didn't they get? I think airlines got in trouble for that, like
They
price
did.
fixing and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
So it's like, yeah, these are all separate companies, but they create monopolies because they're all like, hey, babe, bro, like.
Well, but in the instance of this, right? So the main things that I think, I would like iMessage. I understand the security of it. I understand how the cloud and everything works and yada, yada. They're saying their ability to process through their servers, through their clouds, in a secure way is why a picture coming from a Google phone is like pixelated or blurry.
Yeah.
Well, that severely downgrades the customer experience. And like, I know people that have had to bought iPhones because of where they worked or whatever, because other people did. And it was easier to use certain Apple to Apple functions.
Yep.
Just like you said with your watch and everything else.
That's the reason I have an Apple Watch over any other brand is because it just has so much more functionality with.
I would say that, initially when you pulled it up, I was kind of silly with it, but they should probably look into it. Because like you said, AirDrop. You should be able to AirDrop to a person with an Android phone.
Yeah.
You just should.
Well, and Android's actually saying that like Apple is using outdated stuff, and that's why their videos look like shit, because Apple has to compress them to like send them. So it's not because Apple is so much better. It's because Apple's like living in the past and hasn't and won't get on the.
Well, normally when the new iPhone comes out, it's like 2 models ago and a Samsung in technical power. But the thing is, it's like ease of use.
Yeah.
My iPhone it does all that I know about that I need it to do. Everybody that I know that has an Android tells me how versatile it is, and I don't really need it to be anything other than a phone. I don't know what y'all are using it for, what the versatility is, or what I'm not hacking into my phone. So then it's like, I don't really like the phone as other phones as much as the iPhone. Easy to use. I don't know. So Monopoly, look into it, U.S. government. Protect us for once.
And I mean, also speaking of lawsuits, there's a class action lawsuit out of San Francisco that was filed this week. Proposed federal class action lawsuit. We filed this week in San Francisco, alleges that Hermes, I don't know. Hermes.
Yeah. Fancy.
Which is like the luxury brand,
They're too good for you.
Is violating antitrust laws. So again, antitrust laws by making customers buy other goods in the store before being granted the privilege of buying a Birkin bag.
Yeah,
so
you got to earn the right.
Yeah, it's almost like, which if they set it up that way, like a loyalty thing, then it would be okay. But if without setting up as a loyalty thing, I think that's what.
I would like to know who the I would like to see the class of people that can afford to shop at Hermes. It's expensive as hell, dude. A Birkin bag's like $45,000.
Yeah. So I think you just add another zero to the bag, make it a $450,000 bag, and then make it if you've ordered from us before, then
Oh, you get it free?
or like this bag is 10. You only have to pay 10% of the price. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like once you
Okay.
reach a certain threshold, like once you spend $1 million with us, then you can buy the Birkin
I
bags.
mean,
at 10%
this just
discount.
goes into like
90%.
who can afford their retail prices and are mad because it's also they what do they call it? They want a reputation with their customers, right?
Right.
Go to a Rolex dealer, go to a Ferrari, go to a lot of these places, and they want to ensure. Let me put it this way: they're so brand specific or whatever that they only want to see their brand on the right people. And like, I don't know that I care to have an opinion against that.
Yeah.
I'm not in danger of Hermes turning me down to buying a Birkin bag.
Yeah.
Because if I had $45,000, no. I like nice stuff. Y'all know that. I'm bougie. If I have $45,000, no. $5,000 Louis, something like that. Absolutely. My wife likes expensive stuff. But then that's $40,000 for, if I got it to blow on a purse, I'm going to charity.
Yeah.
Charity. I would not know. So like Hermes, dog, like I'm not going to join your class action suit. Y'all don't have to worry.
Yeah. You told me one time that like they wouldn't even let you in the
Yeah,
store.
we tried to go see. We were out in California for the grid stuff, and I mean, technically, I could have bought it. I would have been broke, but then, or
Yeah.
But
They're taking all
yeah,
your money.
no, they were like, you got an appointment. And I was like, no, we were just down in this kind of like ritzy area, and like I was dressed, very well, and the guy I was with had plenty of money. He was one of the owners of the team, and like they didn't know him either, and they like didn't care. And I was like, first of all, window attendant, don't get snooty with me. You ain't got it like that either. You work here.
Yeah.
You ain't buying these bags. I'm not either.
Yeah.
Have a nice day.
Well,
Snooty Magooty.
All right. Speaking of all of our travel, a 26-year-old Texas man took pictures of Delta passengers' tickets to sneak onto the flight.
Hey, man, he shot a shot.
Which is, I didn't know this. I guess it's a federal crime, right? So
Yeah, boy, you just kind of, I feel like every crime at or around an airport is extra criminal. So
right.
y'all
It's like
be
just like a
careful.
school. Like you do it near a school.
don't
it's a
do it
worse
over
school.
there.
Yeah.
Keep your crimes in these certain areas.
Yeah.
Keep them into these low.
I just thought that was an
areas.
interesting one because I was just thinking about how like I screenshot your ticket because I had booked our flight, so I screenshot your ticket and send it to you, and it's like this guy essentially just had a screenshot of a ticket and was like, "Yeah, this is my ticket."
I don't know how he thought that would work unless you like had kidnapped the person that was going to be like, no, this is my seat.
Yeah, there was not a lot of details on the story because I wanted to know like. Did he use it to get through TSA?
Yeah,
Did
like
he
how
use
with
it
his
to
ID?
get onto yeah. You have a fake ID too?
Good try, kid.
Yeah.
Try harder next time, I guess. I don't know.
And then this was something that we actually touched on recently about, how kids are happier when they're not on their cell phones or whatever. But the U.S., led by its youth, sinks in the World Happiness Report. And since this is the first time ever since the start of the World Happiness Report in 2012, so 12 years, but whatever, the United States was not ranked in the world's top 20 happiest countries. And the drop was mainly driven by people under the age of 30.
Okay, well, this is news to me. I didn't know there was a World Happiness Report. Feels like we got a lot we should be solving, but cool. We're studying happiness. I don't know how you study happiness.
I think
Just
it's
perception.
I think it's
How
people's
happy are you?
Yeah.
How happy are you?
Well, it's just like also depending on when they ask me, they'll get different answers.
I don't know.
But
Well, man, this is the deal. In the U.S., we don't teach people to work for anything anymore. We just teach people to go like occupy a job, occupy space, occupy a home, and then sit on your phone all damn day or your computer all night, TV, whatever it is. Like, if we're talking about against countries where like, and again, I'm not saying it's better in any way, but if you have to go get your own water and you bring it back to your family and you're like, hey, I brought water for everybody. Feel pretty good about yourself,
right.
If everything you do is just like so mundane and done for you and whatever, I would imagine being pretty bummed out too. We've talked about this.
Well, yeah, I would
before.
say we literally talked about this
No
before.
purpose. Like,
Well, and on top of that, a lot of people just love to complain, and
yeah.
we talked about this, but you will find what you're looking for. So if you are looking for negativity, you will find it. If you're looking for gratitude and thankfulness, you will find things to be grateful and thankful for. Yep. It's just like I saw an example of it where the guy was like, "Hey, look around the room and tell me everything that was red." Right? And then, someone looks around the room and he goes, "Okay, now close your eyes. Now tell me what was blue." And the guy's like, I can't give you anything. And
well, there's several different ones. Like when you want a certain car, you'll now see it, or whatever. But like, just purpose, man. Like, I did X today. I did whatever. Like that little reel I showed you where it was like, did you go outside today? No.
Oh yeah.
Drink enough water?
Oh yeah. The girl was like, "I'm not happy," and he's like, "Did you go outside?"
Dun. It's all no, and then it's just like, but the person that does that and then still has no intention of
doing something about it.
But see, here's the deal. Like, I don't know. Do these people think they have to do every single one? Like, go sit outside and get some sunshine. That feels like you've been lazy as hell and do that.
Yeah.
We're not even exercising or eating right yet. Like, just get some sunlight. Here, do nothing instead of look at your phone.
Yeah.
I know it's boring. I know, but
read a book.
I mean, of course, but that's effort. Just literally lay in the sun, and your mood will probably increase, especially if you find yourself comical for doing absolutely nothing in the sun.
Right.
You might get up and take a walk.
But it's so funny because people do so much absolutely nothing in their life, but when you ask them to actually do a focused absolute nothing,
it's intense.
It's very intense for people.
Hard time.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, World Happiness Report. I mean, like, I don't know. I think we all condition each other because I don't know if it's just like there's something to talk about, or I don't know what happened. Like, I'll go around people and they'll be like, "Hey, Adam, how's it going?" And it's like, "Man, it's going great. This good thing happened to me. This good thing happened to me. This good thing." People think you're bragging, and you're like, God's blessings. You're like counting them, like, or whatever.
Yeah.
Heaven forbid, most places bring God into it, and then it's like a weirdo or whatever they think.
Yeah.
But like, if you do that, most people you come around. Now, not everybody. So if you find people that let you brag to them, so to speak, but just talk about your own wins. You want to talk about your wins sometimes.
Yep.
And if you find people like that let you do that and are genuinely happy for you, you got to hold on to them 100%. But go anywhere else, man. And it's like, just, hey, how are you? Negativity. This thing happened. Madonna happened. Yeah. It's like a country western song compressed every day for them. Something new.
Yep.
Dog died, like all the stuff. And you're like, I mean, of course, if your dog actually died, I'm not,
Yeah.
Right? But it's like nonsense. Tell me some good shit that happened. I do that to people. And a lot of times it puts them in a better mood.
Yeah.
We'll tell you.
Because when you start focusing on the good stuff, then it gets better.
Like, damn, tell me some good stuff that happened. You're depressing me.
Yeah. And then the final thing that we were going to talk on is your favorite potential
my boy
villain.
Yeah. We're friends, right? Don't
Elon Musk.
Yeah.
He live streamed like a patient that has Neuralink playing video games that has been paralyzed, a quadriplegic patient. Which is pretty wild that this patient was able to use
It just
Neuralink
hit FDA approval, and he's playing video games with his head now.
Yeah.
I mean...
And it was chess and a game called Civilization, which I think Civilization is a lot like...
well, check this out, though, right? Elon's smart. The medical application that this has is...
Insane.
But... it will be so cost prohibitive to do in a patient, whereas the amount of money that could be made in like video games, how like porn and shit has driven industries and leaps and bounds. Video games have also with your processor chips and everything because they can do enough of them. I always think he's got some stuff figured out that the next guy hasn't, and if he can run down the cost to produce, I think homie's going to be able to give the chips away to like people who need it.
Right.
And like then you've got folks who can control robots that can assist them in their daily lives, amputees, whatever, coma people. they be worked with?
Right.
I don't know, man. It's the Neuralink.
People that have degenerative issues
Yes,
like
yes.
ALS or like stuff like that. Are you able to Alzheimer's? Are we able
Right.
to correct
At
any of that stuff?
launch, at the beta level, it is what it is. But I think it has the potential to do more for humanity than as a multi-tool,
Yeah.
as a general than the far past a phone or iPhone.
Yeah.
Far past that.
Right.
You want to know a language? You do now.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I don't know where because right now the interface seems to be more about like motor control.
Yeah, but remember,
but
you want to go, I want to learn to play the piano.
oh yeah,
You do now.
yeah.
Which also takes away all work ethic. I mean, maybe not. Maybe if you then are like, but it's the journey, man. It's the grind. If you don't appreciate anything that you just are given,
right.
like
It'll be interesting. It'll definitely be interesting.
It will. I think the World Happiness Report is going to go up for a minute and then down.
Yeah. Well,
I think people, actually, you know what? Nope, you're not depressed anymore.
yeah. Yeah.
Everything comes from your brain. Every signal, everything.
We were talking about like if everyone knows everything, that's pretty boring.
Oh, you're not bored anymore.
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
I know.
People are not.
It does not seem like an existence that I would like to live.
Well, you have friends that are interesting, right? Because they've done interesting things. You're
right.
like, I mean, like, I love our conversations when you tell me about some of the stuff that you done overseas and all that stuff. Like, that's interesting stuff. But if like, I don't know, you know how to do everything. Right. You know everything.
Seems boring.
I could just be like, well, did you hear about like this news story that just got loaded in my brain?
We all know the news.
Yeah.
We all I mean, it's got evil implications. It's got good implications. But again, kind of going back to that happiness thing and lack of purpose, and I believe chasing purpose is like kind of doing what God gets to do, which leads to fulfillment on like a level that gets you through those hard times that like your stuff don't.
Yeah.
And like, I think you're proud of yourself for working hard at something or
yeah.
So again, it could hypothetically have the ability to just regulate whether you're happy or sad or bored or whatever. But like, yeah, it would be pretty boring if you like could just.
You knew all the trivia. Everyone knows all the trivia.
Yeah, it's like we're now both equally as good at chess, and just whoever's opens wins. Yeah. Okay, that's boring.
Yeah. Or like you said, like trivia night's gone. It's over. Trivia night's over.
Right.
So what do you guys think about Neuralink? Like, let us know down in the comments below, like how you feel about it.
Wild.
Yeah, it's just we live in an interesting time. I mean, from our age is the advent of the cell phone and the internet and computers.
Yeah,
and
bro.
Like so much electric cars
and internet existed when I was born, but nobody had the internet. I remember when we got them little floppy disks.
Yeah.
They
zip drives. Remember zip drives?
I think it might have been. I think it was a floppy disk that the internet came on at first.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think that we had it. My mom had a computer for what she did at work, but
I remember loading web pages.
It was useless. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like line by line
of a picture.
It's funny.
A picture.
It's funny because like now I'll get frustrated when something takes a couple of seconds to load, and like used to like. You would go to a website and you would wait.
Yep.
Like, and it was okay. You knew you were going to wait.
Yep. You weren't impatient.
Yeah, it's so wild.
But now, boy, it doesn't load. It's like, fuck, go to a different website.
This Wi-Fi so.
Yeah, right. Patience, attention span, that adds probably to the happiness thing, right? Because, like, before, you were just happy to, what is this? Oh,
yeah.
Just wait for this thing to load. It's going to be funny or whatever I'm watching. And then now it's like.
Well, I think a lot of people
now
just compare their lives on social media, and that just drives them down into like a dark place. They're like, I don't have this, and this person has this, and this, and it's just like, ugh.
Purpose over possessions, man. Like, that's all it is. It's purpose over possessions. The possessions come from the world. It'll lead you, if you live for the things, if you coveting thy neighbor, all that, man, don't do that. Just don't do it. Like, if you start watching the Joneses, you're not going to be happy when you go get what the Joneses get because it's what the Joneses wanted, not what you want.
Right.
So as soon as you get there, you're going to go, oh, this ain't really what I wanted.
Right.
And then you have no purpose because you didn't I don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. All right. Well, that's it for the podcast. Hope everyone enjoyed another episode of In the Oven. I feel like we're in like episode like 30 something.
Yeah, we are. What episode are we on? 33.
33.
Hell yeah, dog. Dab it up.
Do you remember when we were like, we just got to make it to 20?
Yeah.
Look at
Well,
us.
man, big thing is, like we've said on here multiple times, we're doing.
Yeah, so thank you to all 4 of you that consistently watch this.
We love y'all.
We really appreciate it. And we're always open to feedback. If you have something to comment down below, like
we're
let us know.
young and malleable.
So.
Influence us. Tell us
like,
what you
look
want
at
to
us.
see.
We got this new setup just for you guys, you know? So,
I like these chairs.
but yeah, thanks for joining us. You're worth it. Do our shit.